Hey, I'm Zach Abstract, and you're listening to Sit Down Marks Podcast.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me.
All right, everybody, welcome. Come on in, sit down. It's episode number 159 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. And today it's all about the abstract principle because on the podcast, one of my good buddies I've got to work with for quite a while and a guy I'm really pulling for to make it in this business. And that's no bullshit. Welcome to the podcast for the very first time. They call him the problem solver. Zach Abstract. What's going on, brother? How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me. Finally.
Yes, of course. As we've been talking about for a while, man. It's long overdue, and we're finally here, man. So, how's life, man? Everything good? Everything, you and the lady doing well?
Yes, absolutely, man. I cannot complain. I'm 2 days away, like we talked about before. I'm 2 days away from driving to California from Missouri, so it's like the perfect road trip.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good, feeling healthy. So no complaints.
Yeah. Now you can go back and listen to yourself on that big long trip. Talk to me for for an hour or so.
If you want to know the truth, I don't care too much about hearing my own voice.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's make it good then here. So I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook, and thank everybody listening afterwards on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SportzWire Radio, and all those podcast platforms out there. As I told you before, me and Zach have worked together. But Zach, if nobody's ever seen you wrestle before, explain your wrestling style to anybody that hasn't seen you work.
My wrestling style. So I'm completely dedicated to the craft. So through traveling and learning through some of the best people, I would say it's a nice blend of like little bit of old school American style with a little sprinkle bit of lucha, and then a strong style base. So what I think is the best, a little bit of all that.
Yeah. I can agree. That's a good way to put it all in. Strong style. Probably at the top of the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So but that's what puts the butts in the seats. That's what I pay for. To see anyway, because, not to give you the early rub, but, you're my type of wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, I like those, those guys that, lay it in, make it look a little more believable. Like I've seen you in a bunch of battles, and, we'll talk about that. So, but what part of the world are you from, Zach? Tell us about, growing up, where it all started.
So I'm from down here in Southern Missouri. I'm from a town that most people probably haven't heard of, Joplin.
Okay.
Maybe some people have heard of it.
Yeah.
I'm from a little town outside of it. But yeah, I live in Joplin now. So most shows are a little bit of a travel for me. So
yeah. Is there like a race car driver from Joplin?
There might
be.
NASCAR?
I don't know. That's the only way
I have a blind spot for like NASCAR or any type of race car driver.
Sure.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That's pretty big.
Right.
But no, I've always been a wrestling fan. Unfortunately, there wasn't too much wrestling that came down here. I think SmackDown came like 3 times during dark shows. And then when I was a teenager, TNA started coming around, which was really cool.
Nice.
But I wasn't. Some kids are lucky, they start training at like 14, because there's a wrestling school in their city. But no, as soon as I graduated, I moved to St. Louis to learn how to wrestle. So, as soon as I graduated, I left, but I came back.
You came back. It drew you back in, huh?
Yeah. The plan is to leave again. No,
sure.
I just enjoy seeing the world, truthfully.
Right. And St. Louis is it's a wrestling hub. It's got a lot of, the top independent wrestlers are from St. Louis, right now. Randy Orton, is from St. Louis. So big presence of wrestling in the area. Did you see any wrestlers growing up? You see anybody out in public, and saw them be like, oh, I want to be like that guy one day, or,
So, I never seen any wrestlers out in public just because it's so like disconnected down here.
Sure, yeah. You
but
got sticks out there? What? Like y'all got internet? Like you know what I mean? I guess.
almost, dude. Yeah, internet used to be a problem. I remember. This is gonna show my age a little bit to younger people. I remember buying the first Wi-Fi box for my house. Like telling my mom, like, "Hey, we need Wi-Fi." She's like, "What is it?
Yeah.
We already have it. I don't understand. What we need." But yeah, like we're a little ways out here, man.
Okay, I get it.
I'm a little ways from Kansas and a little ways from Oklahoma. So I'm like right in the corner of Missouri.
Right.
Probably most inconvenient if you want to travel.
Yeah. If you drive to say like a Midwest Illinois show, Chicago area, what does that take you to drive?
About 6 hours. If I'm going to Chicago, if I'm going into Chicago, it's about 8 hours.
Making the trek up, yeah.
Like when I wrestle in Bloomington, it's like 6.5.
Yeah. What inspired you to take the journey as a pro wrestler? Like, do you see something on TV or like what finally clicked?
There was never a time in my life that I wasn't watching pro wrestling. So like it was always in my life.
Yeah.
My mom claims that when I was a kid, I would run around and see wrestling on the TV and just stop and watch wrestling.
You'd be glued to it, yeah.
Yeah, so I was always a fan. And then when I was 6 years old, I liked Kurt Angle. And I knew Kurt Angle was like an amateur wrestler. And I thought, maybe if I could do that, it'll help me, get into pro wrestling.
Sure.
Which I happened to be really good at it at the time. And then I continued to wrestle for 11 years. But I always knew I wanted to go pro with it. Just being down here, it was a little bit more difficult figuring out how to do it.
Right.
But yeah, my whole life, man, is what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Nice. Anybody in your family wrestle or anybody, any relative or maybe, any lineage at all? Nothing? Okay.
No, it was just something I wanted to do. I mean, when I was younger, I used to watch wrestling with my grandpa all the time. I would get on the floor and try to wrestle my grandpa as a kid.
Yeah.
While we're watching Raw. So it was always meant something to do.
Yeah. So what was school like, man? And down there in Missouri, you play any other sports? Playing football, that stuff?
Yeah, I did play football until I was 8th grade. I think I stopped at the end of my 7th grade year. I stopped.
Yeah.
I was actually from a really big football school, so the school is actually Webb City. My class never lost a game. Like they were like state champions.
Were they like 4A, 5A? What are they like?
4A?
Pretty populated school.
No,
4A,
okay. On that though, I'm not 100% sure. I was just focused on wrestling, and I was super close to my wrestling coach. So it was like even when it's not wrestling season, it's wrestling off season. So we were, training throughout the year. So for me, dude, it's always been wrestling and every type of wrestling.
Yeah. Your family okay with you doing that? Mom,
absolutely. My mom is
upset?
My mom is so supportive.
Dope.
Yeah, which makes me happy. She's actually come to some of the Iron Spirit shows, so it's maybe
she has. Yeah, I definitely have. Yeah, I was just I didn't know it comes to shows, but you never know in the background like. I know my mom. If I wrestled, she would support it, but probably in the background she'd be telling me, "You're gonna break your neck, kid," or something. You know what I mean? Or that's good. That's good.
I'm sure she's had that fear, but I mean, like doing amateur wrestling, coming up, it's kind of like I've broken.
She knows you're a tough boy.
I've broken bones before, so
yeah.
But she supports me. I'm very grateful for that.
Right. All right, so you decide you're going to be a wrestler, then what?
So I remember, when you're in junior high, they're like, oh, choose your profession. What do you want to do? And I remember choosing wrestling in my science
like
teacher.
Career day.
Yeah, science teacher told me, like, you need to choose a real job. It's like, well, right. Hold on. But no, and I still did the assignment on being a wrestler. So, yeah, that's to her.
Sure,
but no,
right.
I got into high school, and I think like my junior year or something. Again, they made us write a paper on what school we wanted to attend. And at the time, I was going to go to A4 in Atlanta. It's an AR Fox school.
Okay, yeah.
WA4 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's where I was going to go. And I knew Harley's was here in Missouri, but I wasn't 100% sure on where, and I didn't know about the living situation because I wanted to just go. Like, I just wanted to commit. Like,
you want to go and immerse yourself in it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was gonna do the Atlanta thing, and then I found out Harley's was up near St. Louis, so I was like, oh, why not? Just do that. So for the first year that I was training, I was still living in Joplin. So I was driving up 3 times a week, 4-hour trips, there and back, just to learn how to train. And then after like a year and a half of training, I finally moved to St. Louis.
Nice. So we get to St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Any other training, any other school, anybody that kind of took you under their wing you worked with?
Yeah, so after I left World League training with Harley, I went and I trained with Elgin down actually in St. Louis, which was a huge, way different training. Which I'm very lucky that I was able to train at World League and then fall into Elgin being around because at the time he was doing. Regardless of how you feel about the guy, he was doing good work in New Japan, and that's I was a fan of that, and of course that's what I need to go learn. What was it, dude? For me, like from the beginning, it was very hard. Like it was very hard understanding like the like psychology side of everything. And there was a time I was just so like just in my head about everything. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. Like I just can't. The mental hurdles were tough, but
like
then
you couldn't wrap your head around the psychological part of it, kind of.
Yes, which me personally is the most important part.
Of course, yeah.
But then I don't know. You just keep putting the reps in, and you keep watching, and you keep doing it. You kind of figure it out. I mean, you're always learning, but you kind of figure it out. But yeah, I trained. Trained with Elgin while I was living in St. Louis, and then I moved back home after being in St. Louis for like 6 years. I moved back here, but what was great is when I moved back, the opportunity to train outside of the United States opened up. So then last summer, I was actually training in Mexico at Bandito's gym, which was life changing. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that, man. So, but 2025, how many years in the business does make you now?
Oh man, so I started training in the summer of 2016, but I trained for a full year before I had a match, and then maybe like 6 months in, I got injured pretty bad, and then I was out for maybe 8 months, and then I had like another 6-month run, and then I was injured again, and then out for another like 4 months. So I would say like actively, like actually wrestling, I would say about 5 years accumulatively. But actually, when I started training, we're at like 9 years. 9 years. So yeah, let's say like 7. Let's say 7 years. Like
yeah. Do you feel like maybe 2024 your best year thus far? Are you?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because I felt like. I don't know. I feel like I'm having a pretty good year this year, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, or is 2025 it? Because I was going to ask you, so how's this year going? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd say 2025. Definitely the most successful year. I'm feeling just so confident in my work and, the experiences I've been able to have this year already. I would probably say this year, man.
Right. And I hear so many wrestlers, too, say that, like, they wrestle so many years and then so many years, and then, all of a sudden they just – they get into this swell of confidence, like they know they can go with anybody, they can run with anybody, and then they feel like that's when they really started taking off. That's when they really started getting into, their career. But you've been doing this for a while now, man. It's like, tell me what's your favorite part about wrestling and what's the worst part about it,
My favorite part about wrestling?
Yeah.
Maybe the creative fulfillment, when you have a good match.
Like the physicality, the storylines, the pageantry, like what's
for sure, like storytelling. The storytelling aspect. I love a good story. I like movies as well, so and that's a good story. Right. Pageantry, yes, that's why I love wrestling so much. It's because the marriage of so many types of entertainment into one, like concentrated into one thing, and sport. Right. Which I think is amazing. So I feel like I can appreciate wrestling and understand all the things that it is.
Sure. Because it's such a vast thing, you know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like such a big thing that some people don't understand it, but that's okay.
Right. Yeah. And you've been doing this for a while now too, man. You got to mix it up with a lot of people. Like, who are some of your favorites? Like, what's some ones that stand out with you?
Some of my favorite people. I would say I got to wrestle Ricky Marvin early in my career. I wish I had been better at the time. But, no, and then I got to train with him last summer, like every day last summer. So that was an honor to get to learn under him and wrestle under him as well.
Sure.
And truthfully, man, I appreciate wrestling new people because it gives you the ability to just learn so much. But so I also had a lot of fun with Sean before he got injured. I'm hoping we can run it back because it's Sean and Malcolm.
Sean Galway, former guest on the pod.
Sorry, yeah. Sean Galway.
That's okay. It's okay.
We were able to tell a good story and a fun story. And Brendan Malkin too, because he's a hard hitter as well. So that's always fun.
Yeah. Do you have that dream opponent? That one wrestler you'd love to mix it up with? Some do, some do, some don't. Some just say I want to wrestle everybody.
I truly the one person. I don't know.
Like when you're sitting in your rocking chair when you're 70 or something, you're like, hell yeah, I wrestled that dude or I wrestled that lady.
So that will never happen because, like I told you earlier, Kurt Angle is a huge influence on me. Kurt Angle for sure.
Yeah.
But, that's probably never going to happen. And then I would probably say like John Cena, just because of how big of a star he is. One that is possible, and because he is from St. Louis, Randy Orton would be
sure
insane. And then like on the other side of things, Mauro Fuji would be an amazing match. I feel
that would be dope. So, I mean, you talked about Sean Galway. Obviously, you've had a lot of mix up with him at Iron Spirit Pro. Where are you wrestling regularly? Where can people catch you? On the regular outside of Iron Spirit Pro.
So I'm kind of all over the place. I don't really have a home base, I would say.
Okay.
Which is kind of where this problem solver gimmick came up. Was the whole kind of hired gun idea, because I was coming into all these new promotions and I needed like a little kind of an angle on who's this guy, why is he here. But at All Star Lucha in Chicago, I Iron Spirit regularly, although I quit this weekend, so you won't find me there. I've been around Dreamwave, but truthfully, I've been out of the country, and that's what I've been. It's weird, man, because I've been getting bookings outside of the United States.
Yeah,
and those are, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you want out of the business, but I've been kind of prioritizing that, I guess.
Right.
But, I live in Missouri. I haven't been able to wrestle much in Missouri just because I've been, in and out. But I wrestled in Missouri 2 weeks before I left. I wrestled at Tri-States. So I'm kind of touch and go at places, and I'm going to new places. So like I said, I'm leaving to California, so I'll be wrestling in California for the first time this summer, and I'm really excited about that. And let me not forget, somebody who's really treated me well in the business, with John Bullard and Flo. Fantastic league of wrestling, and everything they're building it's great for the wrestlers. And if there's one promotion coming up that people should support, I really think it's Flo.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook right now, and everybody listening on Apple, Spotify, all those podcast platforms out there, and SportzWire Radio. I'm sitting down today. This is DB with the SitDownMarksPodcast. I'm sitting down with Zach Abstract, getting caught up on life with him. So, you talk about, working different promotions. I'm showing you a picture right now on screen. You got a title, man.
You want to see it?
You got a title now. Yeah. Heck yeah, I want to see it, man. I've been waiting to see a title on you, man. Yeah. So if you're watching right now on YouTube and Facebook, Zach is a brand new champion of of a promotion, and we'll let him talk about it here. He's the Mad Bash Wrestling Baja champion.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes,
the
sir.
Mad Bash Wrestling Baja Open Invitational champion. And I would like to say that I won this. I won this from Oliver Kane. Oliver Kane put this on the line. I don't think he thought I was going to win, okay? But I did. And it just so happened that I left the country with it. And I thought, you know what? Why not make it mean a little more and defend it over there? So I do have a match coming. I will be posting it online too.
Yeah.
This is now an international title. So you're welcome, Mad Bash.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, man. Isn't it beautiful, man?
It is a pretty title, man. I'm a sucker for a good turquoise, man. I love a teal turquoise, and I saw that. I was like, man, it looks good. Looks good on you. Matches your trunks in the promo pic too. So I mean, shit.
It's almost like it was made for me, huh?
I know, right? Yeah.
I thought it was funny that I matched my gear as well. I just I appreciate the opportunity to go for any championship, and when I get it, I'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, of course. So you've had a lot of matches, man. You've had a lot of matches to date. I've seen I've seen some, that I enjoy, that I wanted to bring up that I saw that I've seen live. Your match with Hartenbauer outside at the amphitheater a couple years ago was like, big meaty man slapping meat. Y'all chopped each other. So that's one of my favorite matches of yours. Obviously the mix-ups with Galway that you had, but I'll tell you what my favorites are, man, is the best of 3 that you had with Kenway. That one's is where like although you lost the series, but although that was kind of like when I felt like you came into like your arrival, at least in Iron Spirit Pro, with that, and I love that storyline. I wish it would have been best of 5. But did you agree with me, that these are, pretty significant matches for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that given a good story to tell, I can really sink my teeth into it and really give good matches and give a good complete story. I would love to be able to do more best of 3s, because even what I had with Galway was also good, and he helped me further my character. But yeah, the Kenway matches were great. I think that was me kind of going into that next level. And it's unfortunate that I keep missing you at every show, because I feel like I have once again gone up another level, and I feel so much more confident in my work now than I did even a year ago.
Yeah. Nice.
But no, absolutely. I agree with you. I am proud of those matches. Yeah.
And of course, like I said, I love hard-hitting matches. So obviously the one with you and Hartenbauer outside was one of my favorites. So let's talk about the change that you had. So what prompted the turn of Orion Creed? The Rudd, to the eventual Zach Abstract. But what made you get past, Orion Creed, Orion Starlight, and now Zach Abstract?
Just like I mentioned earlier, changing who you are as a wrestler, and changing how you even feel about wrestling, and changing how you want to present wrestling. I feel like I didn't want to box myself in with a gimmick. I feel like for me as a performer and a wrestler, I'm better off of a moniker than a gimmick. And that's not to say anything about gimmicks. I mean, gimmicks are great, especially when they're good. Just for now, not what I'm interested in doing. But also, I felt like the whole Orion Creed, Orion Starlight. When I started training, it was originally just Orion, and then the other name stuck, and then I changed the name, and then it was just like I felt stuck in this character. I was like, I gotta get used to that, because, like I said, I felt like I was changing and becoming better, and just something fresh, something new, something different, and more me, dude. To be completely honest, it's just more authentic, and I feel like I can be more authentic through everything, through promos, through my matches. Just feeling more comfortable.
Yeah, no, I agree. You got a man in particular that makes your gear? I mean, you don't have any. I mean, you've had some extravagant stuff, but I always dig the colors in your gear. You know what I mean? And so, anybody in particular that does that for you?
So I'm glad you bring up the colors because that's just like kind of me. Like with my day to day, I wear a lot of bright colors, and I wanted to, keep that in wrestling as well because I feel like your look is important. If you catch somebody's eye at any moment, that only helps. But it's also why I kind of wanted to lean into the abstract is because like that's me, dude. Like that's I wear the bright color, like weird haircut, whatever. But I will design my own gear every time, and then I figure out what type of fabrics I want. But my last pair of gear was actually made by Xavier, Take Flight Designs.
Yeah, Xavier Sky.
Yeah, Xavier Sky. He does such good work, man. And he really helped me out because it was in a situation where I kind of needed it quickly because your boy just got too big for his other trunks. So I needed a new pair, and he did. He got the turnaround so quickly, but I had to outsource the fabric. So that's kind of the thing. I'm always looking at new fabrics and what type of fabric I can use on the next pair.
Sure.
But yeah, I always like something different and usually bright, but maybe I don't know, maybe something darker next time.
Right. Is anybody that like you had a match with that not necessarily end up being tougher than you thought they were, but like maybe like really kind of like surprised you, open your eyes to, to maybe their skill, maybe somebody that's up and coming that you've wrestled lately or something?
Yeah, quite a few people. I know I had mentioned Malkin earlier.
Yes.
He has all the potential in the world, man. And
I'm a fan of his too, man. Yeah.
I was actually there when he first started training, right? And just to see how he's progressed along the way, is very good. He just has to keep going, keep putting the reps in, keep doing his thing.
Yeah.
And maybe fix his attitude a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Malkin. Oh, he's also a hard hitter as well. Malkin. And then actually, when I was in Japan, I became friends with this guy, Kiyoya. And Kiyoya out of FTO. I swear this dude probably chopped me harder than anybody I've ever been chopped by.
Oh, for real? Wow.
My entire career. Just heavy on the hand, what I'm saying? But like I said, he wrestles for FTO. He's going to be a star. Absolutely. Just a great worker. And I'm happy that, a couple weeks ago, we were able to have a hard-hitting, nice match.
Nice. All right, cool. Good deal. So before we get to talking about Mexico and Iron Spirit Pro 2 from last weekend, let's plug your YouTube, man. You got a YouTube page here. My boy here needs some subscribers, people. Abstract.
You should just blur out that subscriber number. That's just embarrassing.
We'll get it off the screen at least. There we go. Maybe not. So, I mean, he's not a podcaster like me, obviously, but, go check out his YouTube, man. Got a lot of his highlights on there. If you want to check out who he is, there's some Iron Spirit Pro highlights there. There he is knocking Solomon Tupu's jaw off pretty much. Good stuff here. So go search Zach, SXAC, if you're new to Zach, Abstract on YouTube and give him a follow on YouTube and check out his stuff, man, for real.
Thank you for the plug, man.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course.
I made the YouTube maybe like 2 or 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm. It is fairly new. It is.
I mean, dude, I'm so behind on like using social media as a tool just because I like living life, man. Like,
all right. Yeah, of course. No, but good highlights on here though. Yeah, good highlights on here though for sure. All right, so let's talk about last Saturday, man. Obviously, we've heard on the internets said that you quit Iron Spirit Pro, but let's talk about your match with Connor. How'd it go, man?
I mean, I didn't technically win.
Connor Hopkins, I guess. Yeah,
but that doesn't matter. I would say the match was pretty good. I had a good time beating him up, rough him up.
Yeah. I know there's going to be some Iron Spirit Pro fans listening to this, and they, you know, at the show probably heard you quit. So,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, I mean, listen, man. Like we had talked about earlier, I don't really have a home base. I mean, Iron Spirit was my home base, but like, dude, that's 6.5 hours from home.
Sure.
And I wrestle other places as well. But I just felt like I wasn't getting the respect I was, owed. I put the work in there, I put the time in there, and it was interesting to hear people turn against me rather quickly when there's new people on the roster. Apparently, loyalty doesn't mean anything to them, but that's fine. I won't remain loyal to them. Then,
Sure.
I was honest with them. I told them that in a way they broke my heart. So no more of that. No more Iron Spirit. Sorry, brother.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. I know people will will ask the question. So there's the answer, folks. So let's move on, man. So you had a run in Mexico, man. Talk about that. How fun was it? How long did you stay over there? What was the luchador culture like?
Yeah, dude. So I was in Mexico for 6 weeks last summer.
Great.
Amazing. I was able to live at the dojo, stay there, train there, live there. The culture is amazing, man, because like there's so much wrestling happening all the time. Like I said, I was able to train every morning. You get the lift, and then you can train every night, Monday through Friday. Find shows on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's very what I appreciate about it the most. It's the community aspect. People want to help you. People want to bring you along. People want to help you get on shows, which is nice because that's opportunity, And with those opportunities, whatever you do with them is what you get back. So I really like that aspect of it. You can really put all your time and energy into it. One thing that what they said kind of put my frustrations into words is that when I came back, I felt like the United States doesn't really have. I mean, we have it, but it feels so disjointed, that sense of community, just because of the way the culture is here. But the way that they explained it, which is accurate, is that, other places like Mexico and Japan look at it as a lifestyle. And here in the United States, unfortunately, it's looked at as like a hobby, which is the truth. It's hard to accept that. And I don't necessarily like that.
Sure.
But going to Mexico and now having gone to Japan, the thing that I wish to do, I know the question used to always be like, how do you want to give back to wrestling? And I never felt like I had like a great answer for that. And I felt like it's a selfish pursuit, right? Until leaving and coming back, I just want to make that option of wrestling being a lifestyle more accessible to indie wrestlers in the future. But that's like long-term dream. And down the road. But yeah, man, when I was in Mexico, I feel like I learned so much. I met so many people. I became a better wrestler. I also grew as a man as well.
Yeah. That's important.
Exactly.
Else. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's another thing about wrestling, all the life experience that comes with it, because you can get into so many just
yeah, good, bad, whatever. Yeah, right.
Exactly. It's endless. But that's also what I love about it. So but yeah, dude, Mexico was amazing. I
love Mexican food, dude. Talk to me. Like, did you eat some quality stuff?
Oh, absolutely, dude. I had some great stuff. I had some stuff that wasn't so great, but I had some amazing food.
Yeah, right on.
We were because we lived down from this taco spot, and we were hopping down to the taco spot as much as possible, dude.
Yeah. You find a couple that hit, and you're like, yes, sir.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, because where we were at, I just kind of found everything I needed in the radius I was staying at, and that was
right.
That's what
Yeah, that's what I love too, man, about hearing like stories like what you just said. Like when you go down there, like, everybody's like, oh man, like I was such taken care of. You're like, it's such a, it's a, like I said, it's a culture, it's a way of life. It's a lifestyle 24/7. You know what I mean? They live it, sun up to sundown, not just, a couple hours a night like us when we watch it for hobbies and stuff. And immerse yourself in that. And
that made me just have so much respect, man, because like there were sessions I'm in the ring, about to, do whatever we're training, and there's like 3 9-year-olds, in the ring also learning lucha. So I just have so much respect for everything that they put into it.
Right. That's cool, man. Did you like come away with some new moves or like a new move that you're incorporating into your
Well,
game?
so a couple new moves, and really, so like I said, my style, a little bit of lucha, and this is expose myself a little bit. I use
Not too much.
lucha in a way of a lot of transitions, right? Because I think
Okay.
lucha transitions are so good, and if you're creative enough, you can put them in areas that amplify them.
Yeah.
But yeah, new moves, new transitions, better cardio.
Right. Yeah. I would imagine you'd come out of there faster in the ring, probably just the speed, right? Like,
Yeah.
cardio. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And one thing which people ask me quite a bit is like wrestling with a language barrier, and they say wrestling's universal. That's true, man. At a certain point, it's just you understand it. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
there's little things that you need to know,
Yeah.
and differences that you need to be aware of.
Yeah.
But it's universal, man, and like you
Yeah.
communicate the same way.
So let me jump into your mind about like when when you plan a trip to go down there. Do you plan do you know somebody that's like, hey, I'm on, you mind if I stay with you for 6 weeks, or, you know what I mean? Or do they house you? Like, how does that work?
So that's kind of back to what I was saying, the access for it being a lifestyle. When I was down there, I was living in the dojo.
Right.
So I was actually on site. I would wake up, I'd walk downstairs, and I would go to the ring. So I was like right there.
Okay,
And
dope.
what's nice is when I was saying that you could train in the morning and train in the evening, is that different trainers have different time slots, right? So Ricky Marvin, I was training with in the morning, and then in the evenings I would train with Skyday, Texano, and all these other guys come in at different time slots. So
Nice.
you could train all day if you wanted, but your body can't handle that.
Yeah.
So it's usually like a session in the morning. You can lift because there's a gym there. You can lift and then get some food, and you then go back to training again.
Sure.
And then just kind of enjoy the rest of your night. But
Wow.
I wish that there was. I wish you could do that in the United States. Like live on site, train on site. It just exist there.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's not. I mean, aside from like PC and that's different though. But yeah, I wish more of that were in the United States.
Right.
I think I trailed off from your question though. Can you?
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. No, I was gonna say, like, I've always kind of had this idea too. No, you answered it. Like, I just asked, like, where do they house you, put you up, that kind of stuff. Like, is it, kind of pre-planned? But I've always kind of like had this idea too, man. Like, I don't know if I ever said this out loud, but I thought about it so much, right? Like being in indie wrestling, as long as I have, like, I've always thought about if I was rich enough, man, I wanted to build this independent arena, you know what I mean? And like model it, after the, the arenas down in Mexico that are, what I mean? And like have places on site where guys could stay and sleep, while, you know what I mean? I always thought that'd be cool to have all that like under one roof in America, for, say like people, to come and then could be a part of shows right there at the arena. It's like, it's kind of like you're all in one kind of spot,
Right. Exactly. And, that's, like I said, dude, that's my dream, to allow that to happen in the United States. And, obviously there has to be a part of it where it's sustainable day to day, which I understand.
Right.
But that's also, you also can't train people if you ain't done nothing. So I know that, the resume has to be a little bit longer before that's an option. But that's absolutely, I love that. That's something that you wanted to do.
I always said if I won the lottery, that's one of the things I would do. You know what I mean? Just like
as a wrestler, I appreciate that.
I mean, to like, you know what I mean? If I could have like a baby, you know what I mean? Something I would be totally interested in, you know what I mean? Like, we'll have to talk about it off camera because I've really thought about it way too much. So, but so what do you think your biggest accomplishment is thus far? I mean, going to Mexico is pretty big. You've been to other countries to wrestle too, right?
Yeah, I have to say, also to play on what you were just saying, my biggest accomplishment so far, because of what my dream in professional wrestling is 3 weeks ago, I was wrestling in Japan for FTO.
That's
And
dope.
yeah, dude, it was amazing. It was life changing, amazing.
Yeah.
It was surreal. It took me like a day being there to even like soak in, like, oh, holy shit, dude, I'm here. You know, I'm here doing the thing.
Yeah.
That's my greatest accomplishment. The only difference there is I wasn't staying in a dojo. You know, I had to find my own housing, which that's kind of part of it, right? Like you gotta figure out how to survive on your own.
Yeah.
Which was also nice, and I was able to grow and feel more comfortable just going out into the world, in a place that I don't necessarily speak their language, but
Sure.
being able to um, enjoy my time there, like, man, I loved it. And they, like you were saying, they treated me so well. They took such good care of me. I can't wait to go back.
Yeah. Did you go to Ribera Steakhouse?
So we didn't go to Ribera, but so I was in Oeda.
Yeah.
I was in Oeda,
Okay.
but he did take us to a Japanese steakhouse, which was amazing.
I bet,
Yeah,
yeah.
like they have a conveyor belt, so the food like just keeps coming.
Oh yeah, it just keeps coming. Yeah.
Yeah, and the coolest
It's
part was
dangerous.
like at the table they have a little iPad and the timer starts, and so for the first hour it's all you can drink. So it's either all you can drink, and then the food slide up. So I was
Yeah.
that was probably one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. So I had a good
Nice.
time.
Nice. Good times, man. And and so like within, you said last summer was Mexico. You just got back from Japan, so within a year, year and a half, you've discovered these, or been a part of these two huge, immense wrestling cultures. You know what I mean? You got to see both, spectrums. Did you wrestle in front of a live crowd in Japan?
Yes, I did twice.
Nice.
Yes,
How cool is
and
that?
yeah, it was actually, dude, it was amazing because going to another country and wrestling at indie, you don't know you don't really know what the situation's going to be, right? Um, you just never know. But it was
Right.
actually in a television studio, and dude, it was so professional. It was probably one of the nicest venues I've ever wrestled in.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, a crowd of like 200, 250.
Yeah.
Just it's interesting because you go to these other countries and you're listening to the crowd, and it's different. You're hearing reactions differently. They
Yeah.
react differently, and I mean, because I'm a fan of wrestling, and I watch everything. That is, I was expecting that,
Right.
but I just appreciate how respectful the Japanese audience is.
Yes.
Just like
They
giving
really watch and take it all in, don't
yeah,
they?
go,
Yeah.
watching, taking it all in.
Yeah.
They'll react, but short. They react and then
Yes.
quiet. They're
Yes.
watching.
Yes.
But it's so nice. And then just honestly, selfishly, seeing myself in a Japanese ring, just felt so right, dude. It just felt so right.
Yeah. It felt like home. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it really
awesome.
did, man. Because like I told you, I don't really have a home base, and it was crazy
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
there. And training with those guys and being around those guys for that week that I was there, I did feel like home. So it was like, now I'm like, I got a taste for it. And I'm like, no, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So like when you leave there, they say, hey, we want you back. When you coming back? You're
Yeah,
like,
and like the way they did it, right? Because like in the United States, it's like they're not gonna say shit, but maybe they send you a DM like, hey brother, we'll get some dates later. After my second match, they had us stay in the ring, and they asked us, hey, would you please come back? Like asking in front of the audience, which is to me just like another level of class and respect that I
sure. Yeah. So they pretty much like parade you out there and say, what do you think of this guy? You know what I mean? And so, wow, that's like raw
and
acknowledgement,
right, exactly. And I felt like I performed, did some of my best performances out there. So
oh, that's great.
yeah, man, it's crazy to go where you want to be and then to just knock it out of the park.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
It makes all the other bullshit so much like worth it so much.
Yeah. I know you felt good leaving there, getting back on that airplane. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I did some work here.
I felt good, but I didn't want to leave, man.
Yeah, right. I know, right? Like real life calls back over here in the States. But so what's the goals ultimately for Zach in wrestling, man? Like you want a contract or you just want to travel the world?
I mean, like, Yes, I want a contract. Like I'll be, of course, I want a
Yeah,
contract.
yeah.
First goal, I kind of have goal levels of goals. The first goal is I just want to make a sustainable living wrestling, whether I'm signed or not, or I'm doing the indie thing, whatever. I just
Yep.
want to make a sustainable living wrestling.
Yeah.
And then if that is not getting signed, then eventually getting signed, and not just getting signed and being a guy on the roster, but getting signed and being of value to whoever I get signed. So those are the immediate goals, but I want to see the world. I want to keep wrestling. I want to keep getting better. I want to keep training. I just want to live. I just want to live this life, man. That's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah. You just want wrestling to pay the bills, and so you could just 100% focus on that, right?
Exactly.
Love it. So what's next on the calendar, man? Where can we see you at? What you got coming up?
Next on the calendar. So I'm going to be going to California here in a few days. I'll be getting that road trip. I have some connects out there, so I'm working on that for the summer. But I will
out
be
there.
back.
Okay, good.
I will be back in the Chicago and Illinois area on May 31st. Flo is actually running Hope Academy in Chicago that morning. I'll be at Hope Academy that morning. Defending this bad boy right here.
Nice.
I'll be defending. I'm gonna win. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna win. There's no doubt about it. And then that night, I'm gonna go to Mad Bash Wrestling Studios. Where this belt is home, and then I'm gonna defend it again. So within 12 hours, this will be defended twice. And if you ask me, that means it's even more valuable at that point. So I'll just keep raising the stock of this thing. But please come watch. Please come watch these shows, because after that, I'll be in California, and I won't be back in this area until the fall.
So if anybody needs to book you or would like to book you, you take those through social media, that kind of stuff?
You can message me on Instagram. You can message me on Facebook. You can email me at zachabstractwrestling@gmail.com. Let's do business, man. I'm hungry. I want to go new places this year. And like I said, I'm going to be on the West Coast, and I love to travel. So
right. If you got a problem on your show, book Zach, problem solver, problem solved.
Yes, and I have a passport, and I'm trying to go everywhere. So let's do business.
All right. Well, before we go, man, let's have some fun with you, Zach. But I want to ask you about a few things outside of wrestling, man. So is there a shoot job, anything you do, outside of trying to be the best wrestler ever?
So now, because I'm going to California, it was actually really cool. I quit my job to go to Japan. So it'll be I'm lucky that I'm in a situation where I can focus a lot on wrestling this summer. Awesome. And then I'm in a really good situation currently. So for this summer, it'll be all dedication to wrestling.
Dude, you hear so many stories of fucking wrestlers not having their shit together.
Yeah.
Hearing one that does have their shit together is chef's kiss, man. So
brother,
I'm glad to hear you.
It's not easy. It's time consuming. But that's the trade,
Yeah. No, I get it, man. So outside of wrestling, what are some of your interests, man? Like, what do you like?
What do I interest? I spend a lot of time in the gym. I'm really falling in love with bodybuilding, so I spend a lot of time building my body. I've been spending a whole lot of time on the PS5 recently, playing a whole lot of Call of Duty.
There's a guy on Facebook. His name's Connor Badgley. I'm assuming he knows you, but he wants me to ask you, what's the farthest you ever got on zombies?
Oh, so if you really know, it's not about your rounds. It's about how far you're getting on those Easter eggs. Sure. And I think the farthest, me and my boy Andy, shout out to Andy if he's watching, me and my boy Andy got to round like 23 or something on Infinite Warfare Zombies boss fight. We didn't beat the boss, which is an alien. We didn't beat him, but that's probably the farthest I've gone. But I grinded out on the Easter eggs, man. That's why.
I figured there was a backstory there.
Yeah. And if Connor wants to hop on the sticks, brother, you let me know. But aside from video games, I really am into like sneakers and fashion. So I'm always spending my time like learning about that as well, because
Cool.
that's another interest of mine.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
said you're a movie guy, right? You said you like movies?
oh yeah, movies.
Yeah, right on.
Usually, me and my fiance love to watch older movies together.
Yeah.
Um, I just I don't know, there was when I was in high school, there was also a part of me that I want to be a director. But that's what I say. I love storytelling. So that's that's I love it. But yeah.
What's the best movie you watched lately?
Best movie I've watched lately.
So it's kind of put it in perspective, and I'll let you think about this for a second.
Okay.
So I had never seen Shawshank Redemption until I just turned 50, Zach. Until about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
it was freaking amazing. Like what? Like how did I miss that? Like for so long? Like what?
Well, now you're telling me, why did I wait? Why did I wait?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how I missed that one for so long. I don't know why I waited for so long, but I was just like, oh wow, I've never watched this and watched it, and I'm like engulfed in it. But because you said you guys go back and watch old movies, this is like an old movie. But what have you seen lately that you liked?
So it's interesting you say that, because on the plane I watched Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner. I
had Wesley Snipes. Is that Blade Runner?
Blade Runner with brother from Star Wars. He plays Han Solo. What is his name?
Oh, well, I don't know, man. I'm not a big Star Wars. I know you're talking about though, like Hamilton, maybe. I don't know. Luke Skywalker.
I don't know why my mind is blanking on what his name is.
Okay.
Indiana Jones. What's Indiana Jones' name?
Harrison Ford.
Is it Harrison Ford? I think
Harrison Ford. Yeah, he was Han Solo.
Yeah, the OG Blade Runner, the original one. I watched 2099 a few years ago, and I really loved it. And I just with streaming, everything is just everywhere, right?
Sure.
And I just hadn't had a chance to watch the original Blade Runner. And I watched the original Blade Runner, and man, I really enjoyed it. I love how when a director will leave things kind of open-ended, like kind of up to you.
Yeah.
No, it's not Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill played Luke Skywalker, right?
Yeah, I played Luke Skywalker.
Okay, all right, yeah. I was gonna say
but yeah, I really like that. Also, maybe a couple months. Oh, another thing, I have not seen Shawshank either, so I can't really.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. Go watch it. It was amazing, dude.
I watched Matrix, both of them, for the first time. Well, first two, I guess.
Yeah.
For the first time a couple months ago. They're pretty good, dude. They're pretty good. I
sure. What's your thoughts on John Cena's heel turn? You like it?
Yes, I do like it.
Yeah,
I do like it. I mean, what like a face Cena run would have just been like
another run.
I think he's making the most out of his last run. I really enjoy it. I also think it's kind of funny how he's like everything is in like breakup terms,
right, yeah,
like trigger word, like breakup terminology.
Yeah,
I think that's
and the threats, like
yeah. I think it's good, man, and I love that he wrestled Randy in St. Louis. I think that's sick. I haven't got to watch the end of Backlash.
It was an interesting finish, so I'll just leave it at that. But one more before I got some quick hit questions for you. Do you watch, what do you watch on TV, man? You watch WWE, New Japan, TNA? What do you keep up with?
Everything. I watch
keep up with everything. Hell yeah.
I watch everything, all WWE product. I watch all AEW product. I try to keep up with New Japan product. I watch DDT product.
Nice.
Everything, dude. Everything. I watch
IWTV. You watch some indie shows, high spots. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. And
nice.
If there's like certain indie guys that I see, like, oh, this guy looks interesting. I'll look up their matches. But everything, even like usually when I'm at the gym, I'm watching like older wrestling. Like I'll go back and not necessarily watch current day wrestling. But most of my free time is spent watching wrestling. I knew that wasn't going to be a very interesting answer when you asked.
That's all right. No, yeah. That works.
I watch a ridiculous amount of wrestling, I would say.
Nice. All right, man. Well, before I let you get out of here, man, I got some quick hit questions for you so we can get to know Zach Abstract just a little bit better, man. First thing that comes to mind, man. So tell us a food that you won't eat.
I won't eat?
Yeah, that you hate.
Oh, dude, I eat everything, brother. Kale. I can't eat kale. I think kale is like the only thing that messes me up. I can't eat kale.
Yeah. So you're driving to a show. What's your favorite road snack to stop and grab?
Road snack. Oof. This is before the show or after the show? Because
Yeah, before the show. Yeah, before
the show.
I guess. Yeah, yeah.
Road snack. All right. I need some type of caffeine, like some type of zero sugar caffeine.
Word.
And then what I like to do before I have a match, I will have a protein cookie. So that's a must. So if usually I pack my lunch.
It's the pre-match meal.
Right, exactly. Just a little bit to give me a little bit of energy and keep me satisfied. But I'm right in a zone where I pass a Buc-ee's and I pass a Wally's, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, so I always end up getting some type of beef jerky, dude. So energy drink, beef jerky, and a protein cookie is like solid.
Dope. You into music, man? What kind of band? Who's your favorite band? What kind of do you like?
I like a lot of music. A lot of music. I would say everything except for like country music.
Okay.
Currently, I'm listening to a lot of Joe, which is DJO. It's the dude from Stranger Things, but he happens to make really, really good music, like quality music. That's another thing.
Sure.
I like, Kid Cudi. I've always loved Kid Cudi. That's my guy. That's my guy, right? But
this kind of guy on Facebook seems to know a lot about you, Zach.
Yeah, that's my boy. What's up, Connor? I've been listening to a lot of Joe as of recent. He just dropped a new album a couple days for my birthday, and I've been running that on repeat.
All right, right on. Do you have like a guilty pleasure, man? Like you eat a lot of candy? Are you into Taylor Swift? Do you like tacos? Like I got him.
I don't think you have a guilty pleasure in music. I think that people could just have such a vast thing.
Sure.
But when it like food, man, like I love food so much. Like I keep myself try to eat clean, but dude, I love Chinese food, and sometimes I get a sweet tooth and have to have some type of sour candy from time to time.
Yeah. Connor, know you love Chinese food too, so yeah. You got any tattoos?
No, dude, I do not have tattoos.
Good. Don't ever fucking get one.
That's crazy you say that. I was thinking about getting some this summer.
You are?
I was thinking about getting some on my legs. I want something that like maybe I can like cover up while I'm wrestling. But going to Japan and loving it so much, I don't know if it's really worth it. Because I mean, like dude, I'm 28 and nothing has been important enough for me to like put on my body. Like this is a scar right here. This isn't a tattoo. Nothing's big enough for me to do that.
Yeah, I mean, tattoos kind of limit. If you go in Japan to wear a mask, you know what I mean. And I'll be honest, man. Like I've been watching wrestlers since I was in the '80s, man. And the ones without tattoos really stick out to me now. You know what I mean? Because so many have them.
That was another thing. A lot of my favorite wrestlers didn't have tattoos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or I feel like a tattoo might limit a certain gimmick.
Right. And also, like I said, I've been getting into bodybuilding, so I'm kind of like building my body, and I don't really want to. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's what I'm thinking. I'm kind of like indecisive. Like maybe I'm the guy to have tattoos, but I respect the art because, like, dude, some of them are so nice and so perfect.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like I definitely dig them. All right, so fill in the blank, Zach. If I wasn't a wrestler, I would be a blank.
Confused. Is it? Oh man, I don't know, dude.
You don't know what you'd end up being.
I have no idea.
Well, there you go. I mean,
I don't know.
That right there says there's never been any other interest. So.
Not really. No, I've just always loved wrestling. Always wanted to be a wrestler. That's a question. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for, brother.
That's okay. Well, I hope you got an answer for this one, man, because it's the last one. Okay. We'll try this one out on you. So you got a 5-hour car road trip. All right. You got 3 seats available in the car. And you can have anyone from wrestling history ride with you on that 5-hour car ride, and you can pick their brain the whole time. What 3 wrestlers are you choosing?
3 wrestlers
to ride with you for that 5 hours.
We got to go Ric Flair. Okay. We got to go Ric Flair. He'll keep the energy going. The energy good.
Yes, he's got stories and he can teach you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels. I want to know everything. I want to know everything.
Okay. Yep. All right.
A third person. The third guy. Oh,
so you, Flair, Sean,
and The Rock, dude. That's
and The Rock.
Yeah. I think I'll be a different person coming out of the car after.
I mean, oh yeah, man. I mean, you be coming out of there with so much charisma, dude. Good Lord. Like,
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, Zach, man, I can't thank you enough, dude. Look, it's no secret. I'm a big fan of yours. I love your style of wrestling. I think you got a huge future in wrestling. I don't have to tell you, you're going to keep grinding. You're a really, really great wrestler. I think you're an even better dude, man. And I just feel like, the best dudes in wrestling always end up winning in the end, man. And you're one of the guys I'm up there pulling for. But here's the thing: is now I got to get you to Dreamwave more, which you was there at the last show. I couldn't make it due to circumstances, but now I got to get you to Dreamwave more so I can hang out with you more. But brother, man, like sky's the limit, man. And like I know when some people got that extra drive and that extra hunger, and I know you got it, man. So just want to wish you all the best of luck. Keep at it. I'm gonna see you and on there. So thank you for coming on the pod today. Anybody want to shout out or anything before we go?
Well, I want to say thank you to you, man. I appreciate you having me on the pod and rocking my T-shirt. Thanks for buying my T-shirt, brother. That means a lot.
Of course.
That was my first T-shirt, so thank you. And thank you for your words. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like you, brother. I'll be around. Once August comes, I'll be back on this side of the country. So I'll be seeing you in the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. Just thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for giving wrestlers a platform to promote themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
The business doesn't work without that. So thank you for everything that you do as well, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. So social media, you got Facebook, got, I don't know if you got Twitter, you got Instagram.
Yes, sir. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube at Zach Abstract across all platforms.
And I guess Connor's pissed he don't have a shirt, so he said, "Tell that motherfucker I need a shirt." So.
Bro, why didn't you buy one, brother?
Purchase.
It's okay though.
Yes.
I got a shirt for you, Connor. It'll just be different.
Yeah, purchase. Once again, I want to thank everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you taking out the time. Appreciate everybody, Connor and everybody chiming in today. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Want to thank everybody listening on Apple, Spotify, all those podcast platforms, and everybody listening on SportzWire Radio. Thank you guys so much. I am DB, the Dirty Bird, the host of the Sit Down Mars podcast, and want to thank the problem solver, Zach Abstract, for being on the podcast today, man. Go check him out. You won't regret it. Thank me later. See you guys next time. We're top guys, and we're out.